Okay, so I should officially be live. Just so you guys know, if you're on the live line with me, you're going to want to hit that mute button so that we cannot hear your background noise. There should be a mute button, like a microphone button that you can use to mute out, so you don't have to worry about having any background noise. And I should also be able to mute anyone that I need to here. All right. Good. Well, thank you for a few of you guys that were joining on the live line. I know we've got some of you guys that are watching on the viewer area as well, and that is great, whichever way is better for you. I mentioned, just so you guys are all aware, in our SBC celebration chat, I put a message that shows you two options. You can use a link where you can just view, and then you can use another link if you actually want to be in the chat. So at the end of the call, if you want to speak up or ask any questions, or if you need anything, I'll be happy to answer those questions. So that said, we are going to go ahead and get started with our team call this week. I just wanted to start off because I am excited right now. We have got a great shot at some really good rank advancements this month. And I know a lot of us are going after rank advancements. And so I just wanted to update everybody on where we're at when it comes to those promotions. And one thing that you guys are going to start to see me do as you hit different promotions is I'm going to start recognizing you on your wall. And I just want to mention, when I recognize you on your wall, if anyone likes or comments on that post, make sure that you send them the intro message about what's going on, because that's the strategy. And like Lucy, for example, when you hit gold, anybody who likes or comments on that, make sure that you send them the intro message so that they are aware, and so that that can potentially produce new team members and new pre-enrolls for you. All right. Good. Okay, so just like I was saying, I wanted to start by recognizing some of the rank advancements. So David officially hit silver yesterday. So congratulations, David. That's absolutely awesome. I'm excited about that. I know the gold's right around the corner. I know, Chris, you're over halfway. I think about 75% of the way to silver. So we're going to get that done before the month is out. And Carol's more than halfway there. Jackie Voss is more than halfway to silver. The Dawsons are halfway to silver as well. Blaine is also more than halfway to silver. So we've got a bunch of silver cuts. I think that's 6 silvers that we're going to make sure that we knock out before the month is over. And then just so you guys know, Lucy is only 100 points away from gold from gold right now. So there's no way that Lucy isn't going to hit that rank of gold. So as soon as it's done, I'll be shouting that from the rooftops, because that is definitely a big deal. Anyway, that said, we're going to go ahead and also just to mention on Lucy, I don't know if you guys saw her, but Aaron Parker featured her on the Power Team Hangout call that's every Wednesday for our prospects. And I'm going to start to try to do a better job of making sure that I get that link to all of my pre-enrolls every single Wednesday. Wasn't really in the loop of that went on every single Wednesday. So something to be aware of is that you can use that Power Team Hangout link that you'll see me promote again next Wednesday, and send it to all of your pre-enrolls if you didn't see that we were doing that yesterday. All right, so moving on to what this call is all about. I had mentioned that this call is all going to be about a day in my life and my philosophy when it comes to my business, and what my focus is, and what I'm driving towards, and how you guys can copy that. And my whole philosophy stems from a concept that I learned that's called expose, involve, and upgrade. And I'd really encourage you guys to have a piece of paper and a pen as I talk today, because it's going to be a lot easier for me to do this in a group setting format versus I tried to kind of share a little bit in some short audios with you guys. But I definitely didn't do it justice. And this expose, involve, upgrade process is something that I learned from Danny Johnson. A lot of you guys will know that she's somebody I followed. If you followed me for many years, then you know that I'm a huge fan of Danny Johnson. You can check her out at dannyjohnson.com. If you're new to being a part of my family, a part of my team, and the people I work with, well, then you won't have heard that before. But if you're not new, you'll know that she's somebody that's had a massive effect on my life. So you're welcome to check her out anytime at dannyjohnson.com. But anyway, I learned this kind of equation or this formula that I try to incorporate into everything I do, because I've learned that the exposure part of what we do is only the first part of our process, right? So, oh, good, Lucy's back. She missed me congratulating her and making a big deal about her, but she can see that on the recording if she missed it. But welcome back, Lucy. So anyway, like I was saying there, like I was saying, if you want to check out Danny Johnson, dannyjohnson.com, you definitely can. And a lot of what I'm going to share today comes from this expose, involve, upgrade process that we have the simplest business I've ever seen to implement this process with, because, you know, I don't claim to be brilliant. I just claim to be willing to put in the hours and the work to create results. And that's what I say. Everybody I've ever seen that gets a bunch of results, usually it's just because they're active consistently, whereas a lot of people are very sporadic and they don't have that consistency factor. And the consistency factor is always the biggest difference in the equation. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So like I said, this whole concept, everything we talk about today, or at least 50% of it, is going to come from expose, involve, upgrade. And like I say, first time I learned that was from Danny Johnson. So we're going to start with the exposure part in SBC, because the exposure part in SBC is the easiest I've ever seen. And we have a very simple process, and I'm gonna start to share my screen because it'll be easier if you guys can share my screen instead of staring at my face. All right. Perfect. All right, so you guys should be able to see my screen right now. And the expose process of what we do, for me at least, is simpler in this business than anything else. And I've put together these 3 documents. I'm not going to spend near as much time on them as I did 2 weeks ago. So if you missed the recording from 2 weeks ago, go back and watch it, because I actually show you guys, actually allow you guys to watch me do the exposure process. So if you missed that team call from 2 weeks ago where I go through these 3 documents, the Facebook group posting directions, the effective Facebook post directions, and the SBC messages for team directions, make sure you go back and watch that. But those 3 documents, these 3 documents are the 3 things in the short 2 months that I've been involved in this so far that I've figured out that work, and that work really, really well. And so what I want to make sure everybody understands is that when we send out 15 to 20 messages a day, when we post in about 10 buy and sell groups every single day, when we do one of these effective Facebook posts 1 to 3 times per week on our personal wall, what we're doing is we're exposing our business, we're exposing our opportunity, we're exposing what's going on. And that is the first step in the process. And obviously nothing is going to happen in any of our businesses without the exposure part of the equation. If we don't expose, then nobody sees our link, nobody becomes a pre-enroll, and if nobody ever becomes a pre-enroll, well, then obviously nobody's going to get started. So very simply put, this is why I created the daily challenge. Is every single day, what you'll notice is I'm talking about doing at least one of these 3 things, and a lot of us do all 3 of them in a day, right? Many of the days. But every single day in the daily challenge, I am challenging us to make sure that we're doing the expose part of the business. Because if we're not exposing our business daily, then we don't have those new pre-enrolls to work with. So my first kind of challenge, or the first thing I want to mention before I move on, is for everybody that's watching this, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the recording, you have to get off of this call today and you have to make a commitment to do the daily challenge every single day for at least the 90 days. When I say every single day, I mean 5 to 6 days a week, right? I do the daily challenge 6 days a week, right? I have one rest day. It's how I operate. To me, it's very, very important. But other than that rest day, you have to do the daily challenge daily, right? If you only do the daily challenge once a week, you're not going to get results. If you only do it 3 times a week, you're probably not going to get results either, right? Has to be a consistent thing, because successful people are consistent, whereas unsuccessful people are always coming up with reasons why they can't. And it's not hard to do the daily challenge, right? To do any one of these given 3 things, like, you're not talking about more than half an hour to an hour a day, right? Yes. If you're really committed, there's going to be many days where you do more than one of the 3 things, right? I do all 3 of the things probably 50% of the time, right? Because I'm committed, I'm dedicated, I really want to produce results as fast as possible. So look at the daily challenge as your minimum activity for a 90 days straight. And if you forget everything else I say on this call and you remember that one thing, that's going to make a big difference to your success. Because I don't know how else to say it, because I don't have any fluff in me. It's not how I'm wired. I'm a nice guy, but I'm also very direct at the same time. And what I will say to everybody is that if you don't do the daily challenge 5 to 6 days a week, every single week, for at least the next 90 days, you don't deserve to succeed. That's just the reality. If we're not willing to put the work in, then you don't deserve to succeed, and you're not going to have done enough exposure to make sure you're out there producing results. So that's the first challenge I have for everybody. Now, when it comes to exposure, I want to mention a couple other things, because I'm talking about what I do on a daily basis to make sure that I can continue to expand my exposure. So outside of the daily challenge, this is extremely important. One of the most important things that I do is I add at least 10 friends on Facebook every single day. And if you're not doing this, the part that you're missing is you're missing being able to expand your exposure, right? I have 3,098 friends on Facebook. I can tell you guys, I don't actually know more than, a few hundred of those people at the most, right? The other ones, they're a friend of mine's or whatever. So I want to make sure that you guys know how to add people on Facebook. All you do is you go and click on this little guy at the top that says friend request. Then you click on find friends or see all at the bottom. That brings up a thing that shows all of your friend requests. And I'll be honest, I don't confirm people unless they have at least 2 other friends so I got a lot of outstanding friend requests because I'm picky. But I don't confirm friends unless they have at least 2 other friends. I'll confirm this guy. These are people that have asked me to be friends with them. I should come in here more often and do this, but I'm more focused on adding new friends, right? So if you scroll down below your current requests, right, it'll show you a bunch of people that Facebook might recommend that you add as a friend. Like I say, for me, it's between 5 and 10 new people I'm adding a day so that my account is getting larger, so that when I do my exposure posts on my Facebook wall, so there's more potential that more people are going to see them. So I'll just do it, right? This guy's obviously got more than 2 friends. This guy's got 7 mutual friends. This one's got 50, add friend. This one's got a few, so I'm going to add him. This one's got 36, so I'm going to add. And once you've done 10 or so, usually something will come up and Facebook will be like, we only recommend you add people. At that point, once I see that message for the day, even if I haven't got to 5 or 10 yet, I'll stop. Just because it's a smart, nobody knows Facebook's exact algorithms, but if you go over, then you may have periods of time for a week or 2 where you can't add friends. No big deal, right? It's just part of the process. Things are going to happen, right? But you do want to expand your list. So go through and find people that have 3 or more mutual friends, and somewhere, like I say, between 5 and 20. For me, probably the average is to make about 10 add friends per day. And what you'll see is that if you do that and you add about 10 friends a day, your Facebook account is slowly, I think I just added a person. So your Facebook account will slowly grow and grow and grow, and you'll get to a point where you have 5,000. There's one thing I would say is that I kicked myself. There's times where I've been really consistent at doing this, and that's why my friends list is as large as it is. But I could already be at 500 friends if I had been, or 5,000 friends, which is the max, if I had been more consistent with it. So anyway, That's another thing when it comes to a day in my life, is that I'm always adding 10. So I told you guys you should have a notepad and a pen and a paper out. Well, make sure you've written that down. Add at least 10 friends a day on Facebook, because that's how you're going to be able to expose to more people, and more human beings will see your post as a result, right? So that's the first, that's extremely important to exposure part of the process, right? The second thing, like I mentioned before, is that we're doing these 5 to 10 posts in buy and sell groups every single day, right? That it's the day that I choose it, right? I don't do 10 every single day, because some days I'm doing the effective Facebook instead, or some days I'm doing the intro messages to my team, but some days I do all three. So at the end of the day, you're making sure that you do at least one of those three things minimum. And if I specify one in the daily challenge, well, then I really recommend that you do the one that I specify, because you want to create the habit, right? You want to create that habit of always completing the daily challenge every single day. Okay, on that note, and I just want to mention this to you guys, this part of what I say is really important. Every time I talk, what I want you to notice is that I don't preach, right? I'm not preaching. I'm telling you guys what I do. And there's a big, big difference. It's why I'm successful, is that what's the right way to say this? Some of you guys will ignore everything I say, and you won't see near the results that I see. And others of you guys will take massive action, and you guys are the ones that are going to make gold and beyond, right? And so I can't control whether you go out there and actually take action, right? All I can actually control is whether I've given you the ability, the tools, and put them in front of you to have the ability to copy me if you so choose. And if you so choose to copy me, then very humbly, I believe you're going to be a lot more successful than if you don't choose to copy me. So I want to make that clear, because I don't preach at you, right? I tell you what I do every single day. Next point I want to make on exposure, and this is really important, is when you're doing one of these effective Facebook posts, okay? Like this one, for example, all right? Really important that when you're posting this on your wall, right, make sure your settings are set to public, right? As your friends list grows, more and more people are going to see your post. And the more people that comment on your post, just turn off my chat, turn off chat. Okay, so the more people that see your post and like and comment on it, the more people that Facebook is going to show it to, right? So the more friends you have, the more people that will like and comment on it, which will then lead Facebook to show it to more people that aren't your friends. So whatever you do, never do a post that says friends or only me. Every single post should have the settings set to public, because if you don't have the settings set to public, your exposure is going to be way lower than it otherwise could. Now, I'm not going to post this right now, because I don't want to be trying to respond to people while I'm talking to you guys on this webinar. So I wanted to mention that. It's really important. Write that down. We talk about taking notes. Make sure that all of your posts are done as public. Next thing I want to mention when it comes to exposure is this. Your headspace really matters, okay? Your headspace is extremely important to you. So when you are posting in groups, right? These are a bunch of the groups I'm in. Let's say that I made a post in New Edmonton buy and sell, and people had commented on that post, and say you get that annoying person who just, you know, their husband or wife was rude to them that day, and they thought they might as well go and be rude to other people, because those people exist. There's always a bunch of grumpy other people out there that want to steal people's dreams. Well, don't let them steal yours. I always say, don't take advice from people that don't have what you want. And that's one of the most important lessons I learned in this industry, is I don't take advice from broke people. I take advice from people that have what I want. So the people that make stupid comments on my posts, very simply what happens is I click the X button. There's an X button at the top right here. Okay, and this isn't my post. I'm just showing you guys on another random post, right? There's an X button that will appear. And then I hit block. And I block that person so that they can never comment on another one of my posts again, and so that I don't have to see anything stupid that that person says, because they don't deserve my headspace, right? And they don't deserve your headspace either. So if you are going to be successful, you have to block can I just, I don't really know the right language to use because I'm a really nice guy, but you have to block stupid people, right? I don't know the right way to say it, but you guys all get my drift. You can figure out, ruder things to say than that, or however you want to verbalize it or word it. But you got to block those people, because if you let them get in your head, it messes you up. And whatever you do as well, don't argue with them. They're idiots. Don't bring yourself down to their level. If you argue with an idiot, you're an idiot. Okay? And that's the only way I know how to say it. So I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I got a philosophy, and my philosophy is this: always be the bigger person. And it's served me really, really well in my life to choose to always be the bigger individual, because I'm not changing that idiot that said it's a scam, right? I'm not going to change the mind of that person. That is just who they are. That's where they're at in their life. They're a negative, boring, bitter person that I do not want in my influence, right? And I, there's this saying, birds of a feather flock together. I want to hang out with people that share my mentality, share my positive mind frame, share the way I think, and that's what we're creating, and that's what we have here in our SBC celebration chat. And that's why you see me all the time making sure that I'm doing the best job I can to remind our group, right, that group is for celebration. If you need anything that you need to talk to me about, come to me privately, because everything, I'm a very positive individual, and I believe that life and death is in the power of our tongue, and so that when we speak life into things, good things happen. When we speak death into things, bad things happen. So I'm a person that speaks positive things only. At least I work very hard to do that, and that plays a big role in my success as well. So anyway, that's the first part of the equation, is exposure. So you should have written down, make sure you're adding at least 10 friends a day. You should have written down, make sure you do your posts as public. You should have written down, make sure that you do the daily challenge at least 5 to 6 days a week for the next 90 days. And then finally, write down, I don't deserve success if I don't do this, right? This is the exposure side of the business. So I hope that helps. I hope it puts you in my mind frame, in my headspace. And one more point before I move on to the second part of the process, the second part of what I focus on every single day in my business, is I just want to say this. One of the reasons I get so many upgrades every single week, like, to me, it's amazing. We'll start this October 18th, so it's barely 2 months. I think I looked earlier and it was 45 or 46 people, I think, that I've personally enrolled so far into this business. One of the other reasons for that is I expose really aggressively. I try really hard to make sure that Friday and Saturday I do all three, and that Friday and Saturday are days that I never do only one of my three main things that are working. Because this is what you want to understand. The power line concept is very, very powerful. So the more pre-enrolls that you get on Friday and Saturday, they're going to have the rest of the pre-enrolls that we all get from the rest of the week between Saturday and Thursday that show up underneath them. So we're going to have the most ammunition with those people to go ahead and get those individuals started. So let me just say this. If you are sleeping when it comes to exposure on Friday and Saturday, you are sleeping, right? And you are missing out on a lot of the results that you could otherwise get. Awesome. Okay, so that covers exposure, you guys. And we are going to go ahead and move on here to the second stage in the process on what I focus on every single day, which is very simply the involvement part of the process. So expose, involve, upgrade. So when it comes to involve, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. I've never seen an easier business to involve people in. I was in this industry, most of you guys know I've been in the industry for 15 years, and I used to spend hours and hours on the phone. For me to enroll 45 people would have taken me, I don't know, in my best months in the past, I enrolled 10 people in a month, and those would have been months where I spent 40 plus hours a week on the phone to end up making those enrollments, and we're talking years and years ago. And so what really attracted me when we got started with SBC is that, yes, the phone can be used, okay, but it's not my focus, right? And I love that we have a very simple way to involve people and to make sure they know that they can get the knowledge they need to be able to make an informed decision. See, I don't spend hours talking to people. I don't spend hours answering people questions. If somebody messages me and they say, "What's the comp plan?" I say, if you want to know more about the comp plan, go and log into securemyposition.com, click on pay plan. At the bottom of that section, there's 9 videos that'll explain it to you. I'm not going to explain it to them. That's a waste of my time. Why would I explain it to them? If you try to explain to people how things work, all you're going to do is explain them out of the business. So I never do anything other than direct people where to get their answer, right? And that's the only way I handle things. I do not do any explaining whatsoever myself. So anyway, talking about involvement. Involvement, in my opinion, is at least 10 times more important than exposure. Now, obviously, we have nobody to involve if we don't do exposure, right? Because when we say involve, we want to get our pre-enrolls involved. We want to make sure they're thinking about skinny body over the course of the week. So the more strategic we are about making sure they're thinking about skinny body over the course of the week, the more likely it is that those people are going to get started. And so what I want you guys to all understand is that we can do all the exposure in the world, which obviously we have to do what we talked about first, or we don't have people to get involved in the process. But if we don't do a good job of the second step, which is involvement, right, then you guys are going to enroll a fraction of the people that I enroll. You're not going to come anywhere close to signing up as many people as I sign up, even if you get as many pre-enrolls as I get. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do the involvement part well, then less of your pre-enrolls are going to get started. So what you should do is, I have personally pre-enrolled. I'll show you guys. It's nothing to be. So I've pre-enrolled 179 people so far. Okay, and I think I hit 44 active and 46. So I'm just doing the math. So 46, let's do 45 to be safe. Second clear all, 45 divided by 179. So that means that 25% of my pre-enrolls have got started in the business, right? Which is insane. That blows me away that 25% of my pre-enrolls have got started. I've never, without me talking on the phone, like, if somebody would have told me this was possible 2 months ago, I would have literally fell over and laughed at them, right? I've never seen a comp plan like this in my life that allows this kind of thing to take place. So anyway, I'm not trying to brag right now. What I'm trying to do is make sure you guys understand that if you do a good job of the involvement process, you can have over 20% of your pre-enrolls get started in the business. If you don't do a good job of the involvement process, you will have a 1 to 5% ratio of your people get started in the business. So would you rather have 1 to 5% of people get started, or would you rather have 20 to 30% of people get started? Well, I'd rather have 20 to 30% of people get started because it just makes sense. So that means do a good job of the involvement part of it. So let's cover what I cover off on involvement. Now, there's a few main things, or really just a couple main things that I do when it comes to involvement, okay? The first thing when it comes to involvement that I do that's extremely powerful, and I do it religiously, that's the wrong word to use, I do it very strategically and dedicatedly, is as soon as my people have somewhere between 3 and 10 pre-enrolls, and just so you guys know, at any given time, you can come and see with your people how many pre-enrolls they have underneath of them. And you just click on Contact Manager in your back office, and it shows you how many pre-enrolls they have, and then how many buyers they have on them. I have people that have over 12 buyers underneath of them this week. And I'm going to be messaging all of them as soon as I get off this phone call again today. Okay? Anyway, point being is you can see how many pre-enrolls they have. So as soon as they have, like I say, a few, between 3 and 10, I am making sure that they are messaged this message. So in your SBC messages for team document, the first time I'm starting to focus on involvement with them is here. So a message for once they have a few pre-enrolls under them from our activity. hey, John, you can say this however you want. Copy and paste mine, use mine, or write it however you like. Okay, depends what day of the week it is. If it's Saturday, I'm not going to say over the course. Sorry, if it's Thursday, I'm not going to say over the course of the week, right? Right. But if it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday or Monday that I enrolled them, then I'll say it exactly like this. So hey, you likely want to follow along over the course of the week, as I already placed 8 people under you. Go to www.securemyposition.com and enter the same email you used to watch that number grow. That's the first step in me involving them, because I want them thinking about this. I want them thinking about it all week long. I want them seeing all week long, being involved, all these people that are joining under them, and then being just blown away that can happen before they even get started. So I do that. So I send that message out as soon as they have 3 to 5 people. Then again, the next day I update them again with how many people they have underneath of them. And then as soon as they have a buyer, right? So as soon as it shows that they have a buyer underneath of them as well, in the paid members in the power line section, well, then I adjust and I add that, right? I let them know that they also have buyers underneath of them, and I'll start to use a message like this, right? Or something similar to this, right? If it's not Thursday, I'm not going to say it exactly like this. I'm just going to edit this slightly so that they know that they not only have 10 people underneath of them, but they also have a few people that bought product. And my point, and this is what I want you to catch, is I want to update people with how many people they have underneath of them at least 4 times over the course of the week. If they don't come in till Tuesday or Wednesday, well, then it might only be twice, right? But if they've come in Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, they're going to be updated at least 4 times over the course of the week with how many people they have so far underneath of them, and that they should check it out at securemyposition.com. And sometimes I'll mix it up a little bit. So some of you guys may not know that this exists, but sometimes instead of using Secure My Position, if I've already messaged them a couple times, I'll use seemypowerline.com instead. Because seemypowerline.com is a nice site that actually walks them through on why they get paid. There's that 5-minute video that shows them why they get paid, that shows up on this page. And then when they click at the bottom of it, it takes them to securemyposition.com anyway. So I'd say about 75% of the time, maybe 70%, I send them to Secure My Position, and then the other 30% of the time I send them to See My Powerline. I just mix it up so that it's so it's not always the same, right? And either way, they're going to end up at securemyposition.com, regardless of whether you use securemyposition.com or seemypowerline.com. Okay, so that's the first thing. 2 to 4 times over the course of the week, I direct them. So we're talking about taking notes, right? Really, really important in the involvement section. You should have written down 2 to 4 times every single week that you direct them to securemyposition.com or seemypowerline.com, letting them know how many people we've already placed underneath of them. It's absolutely vital. The second thing, and I'll mention this as well. This I do twice on Thursday. So I do it once on Wednesday, okay, if they have buyers underneath them in the power line. And I do it twice on Thursday. So I send an update on Thursday morning. I call this my closing message, okay? Because Thursday is all about closing, right? So you know what? I'll come back to this in a little bit. But anyway, the point being is that on Thursday I send out this message twice, once in the morning, once in the evening, because Thursday is the cutoff day. And I want to make sure that they're enrolled. But let's get back to involvement. Let's move away from cutoff day. I got ahead of myself a little bit. So the second thing that I do for involvement, after making sure they're updated 2 to 4 times over the course of the week, is I use Aweber. I think it's the most amazing tool. What's their word for it? You guys, all the messages that when you're personally enrolled by me and I send out my messages to you, right? They're coming from Aweber. Okay, same thing. When I send messages to my pre-enrolls, they're all coming out from Aweber. Okay, and so this is the power of this. I can take and I can send a message to all of my pre-enrolls at the same time because I'm using Aweber. And that is why I have asked you guys or encouraged you guys to make sure you've gone to the SB Messages for Team document and that you scroll down in the SBC messages for team document to step number 5. And step number 5 talks about Aweber. As soon as you've gone to this link here to sign up for Aweber, I have a video that shows you how to integrate Aweber and how to use it so that you can start doing the same thing and you can own your list in your business. And I can tell you guys that I learned one huge lesson in this industry over the last 15 years, and that's that I have to own my list. And what I mean by my list is your list is your most valuable asset. And at the end of the day, if Skinny Body owns your list instead of you owning your list of all those pre-enrolls from all the work you do, and you don't have ways to contact those individuals, right? Well, that can lose you a lot of value down the road. And so when I started with Skinny Body 2 months ago, I said that no matter what, I was always going to make sure that I was using a system like Aweber. Sorry, a system like Aweber so that I could make sure that all of my pre-enrolls were in one spot and all of the people that had come in through my marketing were in one spot so that I never lost access to make sure those people knew what was going on in the business and so that I could work effectively with them. So anyway, the only reason I shared that with you, because I went off on a tangent there, is Aweber is really important because the other thing I do for involvement is I send an email via Aweber, once again, 5 to 6 days a week to all my pre-enrolls, okay? Every single one of them gets a message once, 5 to 6 days a week. So I'll show you guys as an example. In my broadcast section, you can see that yesterday I sent a message to all my pre-enrolls about the call that was taking place that Lucy was featured on. I sent a message that I called Batting 1000 Are You? I sent my I Was Wrong post. I sent Claim My Earnings. So like I say, I do this 5 to 6 days a week. And I let you guys, everybody who is on Aweber, I give you guys my emails. So you don't have to worry about coming up with ideas yourself on what you could write. I send them to you guys. Or if you ever want an email, you can email me and say, hey, I want to send a message to my list today. What did you email today? And I'm always going to be happy to give it to you, happy to share it with you. But those of you guys that I know are on Aweber so far that are using it, I often just send it to you without you even asking. But you're always welcome to ask because this is another step in involvement. This is, to me, the more touches, the better. Because, yeah, 103 people and 16, 20, 18 saw it. Well, that's 20 people that saw what I wanted to say that day, right? An extra 20 people that otherwise wouldn't have got an extra touch from me. So to me, that's powerful. It's important. I would estimate that it's funny, I've looked at people open messages and then I see them going and I see them starting up. So oftentimes I'll look at a message like this one as an example, and it tells me who opened it, okay? So it shows me my opens. And I can go back in and I can look, and there have been many times where I've been like, this is just an example, I've seen this guy click on it, and I sent the message, and then half an hour, that same person later is just enrolled in the business. That's probably happened to me with 8 or 9 of the people that I've gotten started in the business. So this part of involvement is extremely important. It's another helpful thing. So anyway, all I'm trying to say there is that those are the 2 primary things that I do that have caused my results so far. Is that, to summarize one more time here, I make sure that 2 to 4 times a day, or 2 to 4 times a week, people are updated with how many pre-enrolls they have so far underneath of them, or how many pre-enrolls and buyers they have underneath of them, and to go to securemyposition.com to check it out. And secondarily, I send out an email 5 to 6 days a week. So those are your 2 action items in the involvement section, right? Number 1, 2 to 4 times a week, you let them know how many people they have underneath of them and send them to Secure My Position or See My Power Line. And number 2, you send 1 email 5 to 6 days a week to all of your pre-enrolls. That's the involvement part of the equation. So I hope you're taking notes. If you're not, you better rewatch this webinar a few times because this is powerful and it's important. Okay, so moving on to the third step of a day in my life, which is the upgrade part of the equation. And this is what I'm going to tell you guys: is people sell themselves. When you do the intro, when you do exposure part well, and when you do the intro part well, the right people are going to sell themselves. So you don't have to be brilliant for the upgrade process. You just have to make sure that you truly did do a good job of the involvement part. And when you do a good job of the involvement part, what you're going to find is that a lot of people upgrade. Okay, so there's a couple of main things I do in the upgrade part. So the first thing is what I was talking about before. Wednesday and Thursday, especially Thursday, is when I go for the close, okay? Because Thursday is the upgrade day, right? That's where the most upgrades should happen. Yes, we get a lot over the course of the week, right? But anybody who hasn't got started, I'm going for the upgrade on Thursday. That's why I send them this update. So, hey, go to securemyposition.com, enter your email, watch the video that pops up for you, as they already have 150 people under you since you entered your email earlier, and 4 of them have bought product. If you act before 11:59 p.m. tonight, those people stay under you and you earn a commission. We're checking out today so you don't miss out. And then again in the evening, I'll be like, hey, just so you know, it's now five people that have bought underneath of you, and you've got 180 people underneath you or whatever. So I remind them again in the evening, and I remind them to go to securemyposition.com. So I do that twice on Thursdays, because Thursdays is the upgrade day. So on your notes, right, that you should be taking on Thursday in the morning and in the evening, update them on how many people they have, both buyers and pre-enrolls. If they only have pre-enrolls, no problem. Then use this message instead, right? And you can edit this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. As long as you're directing them to securemyposition.com, letting them know how many people they have underneath of you, you're then letting Secure My Position close them, okay? So that's the point. Securemyposition.com does my closing for me. My job is to get them to securemyposition.com. That's my job. That's my role. And so I'm really, really, really focused on that. So when it comes to upgrade, make sure you're doing that twice on Thursday. Second thing you want to make sure you do when it comes to upgrade is this. If you have somebody that responds back to you and says, hey, I'm really interested, or they ask you a question, right? Every question that somebody asks me, I don't care what it is, the first thing I know they're interested at that point. So if they ask me a question in response, they're obviously interested. So any single person, I don't care if it answers their question or not, it makes no difference to me whether it answers their question. I couldn't care less if it answers their question, okay? I go ahead and I copy this. It says message for when people ask you which packet to start with or start showing interest, and I send them this. And the reason I send them this is I want them to start with a Premier pack, because 1, it's more volume. 2, it's better for them because they're going to get 3 products for free, and 3, if they start with a Premier pack, then they also get the SBCsystem.com, the SBCsystem.com for free as well, and obviously they also get they're eligible for the gold bonus pool as well. And then they ask me what the gold bonus pool is, and I'm like, oh, go check it out in the pay plan section. There's a video at the bottom of the pay plan section that tells you what it is, right? I don't answer people's questions. I tell them where to get the freaking answer themselves, right? And whatever you do, that is something you want to copy, because I'm going to hold none of your hands in this business, right? Because if you hold people's hands, then what happens is you have a codependent relationship with them, right? I point people in the right direction, and I do my team calls so that I can provide good training so that people with desire and willingness to work can go out and get really, really, really great results. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's for when they start showing interest. That's the message I send. So the Premier pack and the message I send, and those are the 2 things that I do when it comes to closing on Thursday. And so let's move on here a little bit. And I want to say this to you because I want to address it. For those of you guys that are maybe new to the industry a little bit, or are new to hearing me speak, or whatever it may be, you might be thinking, man, that's a lot of touches. What if I piss somebody off or I annoy them? I don't know the right way to say that. Here's what I want to tell you. There's no such thing as too many touches, okay? No such thing as too many touches. The vast majority of sales come on the 6th to 20th touch. That's how it works. So there's no such thing as many touches. So whatever you do, if you make somebody mad by too many touches or by updating them too many times, they weren't going to join your business anyway. So who cares, right? So don't attach yourself to them. And I can tell you that I don't think maybe one person has got mad at me and said, oh, why have you messaged me so many times already, right? Like one. I don't even know if it was one, okay? But I'm saying one just in case it did happen. But I wouldn't even remember if it did happen because I don't give a rat, right? I couldn't care less because I don't attach my feelings to how somebody else is going to respond. I focus on expose, involve, and upgrade. And if you focus on expose, involve, and upgrade, and you make that a day in your life the way that I make it a day in my life, you will end up getting a lot of results. So anyway, I hope you guys found that part helpful. I'm going to try to close up over the next 10 minutes here because I didn't want this to take more than an hour today. But I did want to mention that there's no such thing as too many touches. And my order of preference, just so you guys know when it comes to touches, are Facebook messages. If I don't have them as a friend on Facebook, then everything I've shared with you so far today, I do via text instead, right? If I have their phone number, but I don't have them on Facebook. So Facebook messages is ideal. Text is second best. And then in the worst case scenario, I email these messages to people if that's the only contact information I have. And sometimes that's just the best of the worst case scenario, right? So it's that order. It's Facebook message is the most that I get is like the primary, text second, and email third. So email is last, and it's never in place of Facebook message if they're friends of mine on Facebook. Okay, couple more really important points here now that we've covered expose, involve, upgrade, and I will take any questions if there are. If I need to be on the phone a little longer, it's not a problem. Okay, so the fourth thing that I want to mention here, or sorry, the next thing I want to mention is just so that you're aware, if you don't have the SBCsystem.com yet, your business isn't Facebook proof yet. So you're not going to get as good results as I get if you don't have the SBCsystem.com. Yes, you should still do everything I just shared if you don't have the SBCsystem.com, okay? But you're not going to get as good results because if you don't have the SBCsystem.com, Facebook will start to filter some of your things, and you'll think people are seeing them that aren't seeing them. So you'll notice here in step 2 on the SBC messages for team, there's a video here that Aaron Parker did up for us, or Justin Clark did it, one of the two. And you need to make sure you watch it. If you go to this link, you'll be able to watch the video. And that video will help you understand the benefits of being a member of the SBCsystem.com and why you want to be a member of the SBCsystem.com to Facebook proof your business and to make sure that you actually truly can get as good results as I get. And just so you guys know, in order to be, you get it for free if you've ordered a Premier Pack at any point in time. So if you haven't ordered a Premier Pack, all you do, just so you know, it's not hard to order a Premier Pack. You just go to order product, place a new one-time order a Premier Pack, which is this one, buy 3, get 3 free, right? So it's not hard. As soon as you've done that at least once, you can message me or your coach and you can ask for the code to get the SBCsystem.com for free, and we will more than happily give you the code to get the SBCsystem.com for free. So I wanted to point that out because everything I'm talking about, yes, you should still do everything I've said when you just have the regular links in your back office, but this just Facebook proofs your business so that you get more results from everything that you're doing. Okay, so I said that. Next thing I want to mention to you guys, very, very important. You will notice that my auto ship, Cory's auto ship, okay, is for the first of the month. And I have a bonus pack for me, and then I have a Premier Pack on auto ship for Natasha. So I have, 9 products a month right now that are coming to me. And it's the first of the month. And I don't know how to make this any more clear, but you are in a business where we are placing a ton of people underneath of you. I've never seen anything like this in my life. So far, in the short time that we've been involved, 142 plus the ones from this week, so 156 people have gotten involved. You are somewhere in that process. So you all have between 1 and 150 people underneath you. And the moment that you miss a month of having your auto ship go through or having an order go through in a given month, what happens is you lose your team. Okay, you lose all those people that are underneath of you. And that makes no sense to me. And so I have a very simple philosophy, and that's that my auto ship will always be the first of the month. If you want to play with fire, I think you're crazy. You can have your auto ship later in the month. But what happens if your credit card doesn't go through? Or what happens if you have a problem and you don't get notified in time or you don't notice it in time, right? That doesn't make sense to me. So I have my auto ship for the first of the month. I highly recommend you do the same. If you don't have an order this month, then it's really easy to set up an auto ship, right? You just click on auto ship, it'll walk you right through creating your auto ship. But make sure that you're aware, if you don't have an order for this month, right, you have to have one order in every calendar month or you lose your spot in the team. Make sure you go get an order in, right? So if you don't have an order yet and you set up an auto ship for next month, you're going to lose your spot, right? You have to make sure that one order shows up in any given month period. Okay, so I've made that point. Next thing I want to say to all of you guys is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make in their business is these are the three primary things that are producing results. So Facebook group posting, the group posts we do on our wall, and the SB and the messages that we send out to our Facebook friends, notifying them of what's going on. These general intro messages, they're producing the best results. But what I can tell you is that most people that are new to being a coach don't do a good job of making sure that every single person that they enroll has access to these three documents and gets the daily challenge every single day. So I want you guys to hear this loud and clear. Okay? We have, so far I think I have to add somebody. In my members list, there's 43 people on my members list, okay? Those 43 people are the people that I personally enrolled. They're the ones that get my daily challenge email every single day. The people that you personally enrolled don't get my daily challenge email every single day. So you need to take the daily challenge and you need to be a leader and you need to send them the daily challenge every single day because you want to make sure they know what they need to do to get results, right? That's your job, okay? It's your job to make sure that they get added to these three documents. I am happy to add any of your people to these three documents. So if you have not given me the email address that you want me to share these documents with, you can. And I will add any of your people to these documents because I want your people to succeed too. And what you want to do is you want them to have a Gmail account, because if they have a Gmail account, when we share it with them, their documents will always show up in the shared with me section. So what you can do is say, hey, I'm going to have Cory share the documents with you. Do you have a Gmail account? And say, if not, if they say no, say get one, okay? And they just go to Google Drive, then they click on shared with me, and the documents will show up in the shared with me section, okay? And so as long as they have a Google email address. If they don't have a Google email address, well, then they just have to click on the links in the emails that in the daily challenge emails we send out, and they can find them there. But it's really nice if it's in their own account, and that's why I recommend that everybody has a Google email address. So what's the note I'm asking you guys to make right now when it comes to taking notes, right? You have a job and you have a responsibility to make sure the new people you bring in get added to these SBC messages for team documents, right? And you have a job to make sure they're getting the daily challenge every single day, because the power is in duplication. This business is all about leverage. If you don't show people what they need to do and what's working, right? Well, then they're not going to get near the results that they otherwise could. So I hope I've made that really, really clear, because it's really, really powerful. Okay, final thing I'm going to do before I take any questions, if there are any, is I'm just going to mention this. To me, this is vital to our call today, and I want to ask you guys a question, and that's, do you have a goal? You see, I always have a goal, and so I have 3 goals. And I want you guys to write down these goals, because if you want results, you should have similar goals. Okay, I have a daily goal. Okay, my daily goal is very simple. My daily goal is how many pre-enrolls am I going to create from my exposure today? how many pre-enrolls am I going to create between this document, and this document? How many, right? And my goal is no less than 2 every single day. I've had days where I've got over 10 pre-enrolls, right? I've had days where I've only got 2, and every once in a while I miss it. I'm not perfect, okay? But if you do the math, I have 179 pre-enrolls. I've been involved about 62 days. 179 divided by 62. So my average is about 3. So I average about 3 pre-enrolls every single day. I'm very consistent, right? And there's a power to being consistent. That's why I say you need to do the daily challenge daily, because that's how you end up producing results, right? So the fact that I have a daily goal separates me from 98% of the population. It will also separate you from 98% of the population, because if you have a daily goal, you'll actually go after your 2 pre-enrolls or more every single day. So I just shared with you, that's my goal, right? That's my daily goal, is to get 2 minimum pre-enrolls minimum every single day, and many days it's more. Number 2, my second goal is my monthly goal. So I have a daily goal, number 1. So write down on your notes, number 1, I have a daily goal, which is how many pre-enrolls I'm going to get. Number 2, I have a monthly goal. And that is simply either what rank I want to achieve that month or what rank I want to maintain, right? So for example, if I make platinum this month, or let's rephrase that, when I make platinum this month, I'm going to speak life into that, when I make platinum this month. So for you, it would be when I make silver or when I make gold this month, right? When I make platinum this month, the jump between platinum and whatever's next, I don't even know, diamond, I think it's diamond, is a massive jump. So I'm not going to do that the very next month. So my goal wouldn't be diamond the next month. My goal would be X amount of volume, right? This month it's platinum, but next month it would be X amount of volume that causes me to more than maintain the platinum rank. And so I have a monthly goal that more than maintains my rank. And then the third goal that I have is my next rank advancement date. And this is the most important one. And I can tell you in my years, this is the one that I failed at most consistently, right? But it's also the reason why I actually rank advance and why I actually achieve a lot of success. Because even though I fail sometimes, I also succeed a lot too. And my whole philosophy has been that just because I fail, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to succeed the next month. And there's so much power to having something very specific to focus on. What I always say, and I've heard many different speakers say this, is nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. And so I believe not only do you have to have a daily goal, not only do you have to have a monthly goal to drive you, but you also need to have your next rank advancement goal, or you could call it your next promotion goal. So my next rank advancement or my next promotion goal is platinum by December 31st, 2016, okay? I will tell you guys, I missed it last month. My goal was platinum in November, which was crazy. It was way out there. There was probably a very good chance I wasn't going to hit it, but I went for it anyway. And because I went for it, I got 67% of the way there instead of achieving a whole lot of nothing, because I was actually going for something. I'd rather shoot for the stars and fall amongst the moon, or whatever that saying is, than shoot for nothing and achieve nothing. So for me, that purpose of having that goal, so I missed it. Instead of getting mad, I just reset it, right? So I got 67% of the way there. Right now, we are 76.5% of the way there for December. Have a huge push to do over Christmas here to make it, right? But I have a goal. I have something that's driving me, something that's pushing me forward, right? And if you don't have that, you achieve a fraction of what other people achieve. So I want you to notice that I knew exactly how close I was, okay? I want you to notice that I knew exactly how close I was last month. There's huge power in hearing that, because when you know where you're going, you actually end up getting there. When you don't know where you're going, you don't end up getting there. So even though I missed last month, I just reset. I reset my goal to go for it this month, and I'm going to squirrel. I'm going to do everything in my power to nail that goal before this month is out. And I appreciate your guys' help. And obviously, I'm pulling for everybody I talked about at the beginning of this call. We're family, and I can't wait to, I can't wait to not only say that David made silver, but to say that Chris Mueller made silver, to say that Carol made silver, to say that Jackie made silver, to say that Morgan Louise made silver, that Blaine made silver, to say that Lucy made gold because she's right on the edge, to say that Tanya Watson more than maintained silver because Tanya Watson made silver last month. So, she's going to want to more than maintain silver this month so that she can then focus on gold either this month or the very, very latest next month, right? So anyway, the point that I'm making is these are important things. It's important to know exactly how close you are. So I look at that every single day. I know what percentage of the way I am of the way there. And I wanted you to catch that because you should know your goal and you should be able to go like that, say how close you are. Either know the percentage or know how many BV you are away, right? And for me, it's easy to do percentage this month because I need 10,000 BV to make platinum, right? So I'm at 7650 right now. That's 76.5%, right? I hope it's over 8,000 by the end of the night, right? I have targets that I'm focused, right? So anyway, when it comes to goals, I hope that was powerful for you guys. You need to have a daily goal, which should be 2 pre-enrolls per day minimum, in my opinion. If you want to say 1, say 1. If you want to say 3, say 3. I don't care, right? All I care is that you at least have one, okay? Number 2, you need to have a monthly goal. So that's what rank you want to achieve or what rank you want to maintain that month. And then number 3, you need to have a next rank advancement date goal, a next promotion date goal. If you don't have those 3 things, you are not going to be somebody that has success, period. It's how it works. So I have a challenge for you guys today. Challenge is this. When we get off the call, I would like you guys all to send me an email to Cory Allen Reynolds. And if you're watching this on recording, I want you to do it when you see the recording. I want to see an email to Cory Allen Reynolds, CoryAllanReynolds at gmail.com, CoryAllenReynolds@gmail.com, with what your daily goal is for pre-enrolls, what your monthly goal is for what rank you want to achieve or what rank you want to maintain, right? So if you're new, you should be going for bronze. Bronze is just 3 people, right? And also what you want your next rank advancement to make. So if you're not bronze yet, right, your goal should be to be bronze before December is out. Like I said, bronze is just 3 people. So 3 things: what your daily goal is, what your monthly goal is, and what your next rank advancement goal is. Bronze, silver, gold, with a date on it. That date has to be there. A goal without a date is just a wish. You may as well have not set it, right? That is just truth and it's just reality. Awesome. Well, I've said everything I want to say today, you guys. I am going to stop sharing my screen here, and I am going to move on in a second here and see if there are any questions. If you have any questions, you'd have to be on the live line. If you don't have any questions, that's totally okay, but I will give a chance in just a second because I'm going to close with my quick call to action here. And so like I said, my main call to action is that you send me an email with what your 3 goals are. But then second, I want to make this really clear. There's 3 vital things. Number 1, you need to do the daily challenge every single day if you want to be successful, 5 to 6 days a week. Number 2, you want to focus on involvement. That's what's going to lead to the upgrades. So you need to do 2 to 4 messages per week with your pre-enrolls, okay? Updating them on how many people they have underneath of them so far, and 2 messages every single Thursday, giving them exact updates and letting them know that they have until 11:59 p.m. to lock in their position at Secure My Position. And then the third call to action is simply to make sure that your auto ship is set up for the first 5 days of the month, because I think that is extremely, extremely important. So anyway, we'll see if there's any questions. I know that some of you guys are just in view mode, so you can't ask questions, and kind of a few of our core members here are actually on the live line with me as well. So if you do have any questions or anything you want to ask me today, you are welcome to. Does anyone want to unmute their microphone? I see everyone's muted. If you want to unmute, you're welcome to. And if there's no questions, that's okay. I'll give you guys a chance.
Hey, Cory. Can you go back to your screen and share how people can their rank for next month?
Sure.
People think their rank is what it's showing.
Yeah.
This month.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So when you're in your back office, if you go on the left-hand side and it says current, you can click current rank on the left-hand side. And what Lucy's saying is that it's really good to go to this section because it shows you what your rank is this month. But then it also, if you change this from this month to next month's rank, okay, it will change it. There might be a problem with the server right now. But anyway, you can change this to next month's rank and it will show you what it is. But here's the big thing to understand. This updates, I think, once a day or so, okay? It will, so all you do, I should probably keep this simple right now. So you just change this to next month's rank and it will show you what your rank is going to be for next month. So for example, right now, Lucy would probably show silver here, okay? But once she gets to 2000 BV, which is going to happen today or tomorrow or very, very soon, okay? When she clicks next month's rank, it's going to show gold. Because the way the business works is you always, whatever rank you achieve, you're paid that way the next month. So for example, I was gold in November, so I'm going to be paid as a gold member in December. If I make, when I make platinum in December, I'm going to be paid as a platinum based on the benefits a platinum has in the month of January. And then providing that I maintain the platinum rank in January, then I will once again in February be paid as a platinum member. So you're always paid based on what you achieved the previous month. Lucy, is that what you wanted me to share?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's a good point. So it is a good point, a good thing for everybody to see that they can see this. And the other cool thing, and this only updates about every 24 hours or so, is it will tell you your team members how close they are to the next level. Like David's actually at 800 right now, so he's made silver because 600 BV is silver, okay? And so it will show you never mind, I'm learning here at the same time.
Cory, you're on.
Pardon me? What'd you say, Lucy?
Next month, so that you can see how close people are.
Right, but it's not letting me update to that right now, so there must be a problem in that. Oh, maybe it did. All right. No. Anyway, I don't want to really show everybody everyone's information right now. So anyway, for now, let's just leave this as, if you want to see what your rank is for this month, that will be based on whatever you did last month. Your next month's rank is going to be based on whatever you did this month. Okay, so gotcha. Okay, let me just go back here. Sorry, any other questions or any other comments that anyone wants to make? All right. Well, if there is nothing else, you guys have an absolutely incredible day. Let's go get those Thursday messages out to all of our pre-enrolls, letting them know exactly where they are and focus on getting a few more people involved before the night is out. So that's my challenge to everybody, is to make sure you go to the SBC messages for team document and that you go and that you send that Thursday cutoff message, letting people know that if they act before 11:59 p.m. tonight, and lock in their spot, that they keep all those people that are showing up underneath of them. So that said, you guys, thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time. I very, very much appreciate it. Let's make it a great night, and let's make these promotions happen. Excited for all of you guys. You know, Sam, I know that you're just one more person away from being bronze, so let's make that happen for you as well. That just hit my mind as well here. So let's go. Let's make it a great night, you guys, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye for now.